I know what you're thinking. Why are you comparing a modern-day politician to a Roman emperor? Well, I'm glad you asked. What happens when a delusional showman with a thirst for power, attention, and absolute control takes the reins of an empire? Buckle up, because we're about to embark on a scandalous and satirical deep dive comparing Donald Trump to Emperor Nero. It's like a historical roast, but with more togas and fewer spray tans. Let's start at the beginning, shall we? On one side, we have Nero, born into Roman nobility, adopted by Emperor Claudius, and thrust into power at the tender age of 16. On the other, we have Donald Trump, born with a silver spoon so far down his throat it's a miracle he can still tweet. Both men entered their respective scenes with all the subtlety of a rhinoceros in a china shop. Both Nero and Trump started their reigns with surprising popularity. Nero was hailed as a young, energetic leader who promised to bring fresh ideas to the empire. Trump? Well, he promised to make America great again, whatever that means. It's almost as if people have a weakness for charismatic figures making grand promises. Who knew? If there's one thing both of these men love more than themselves, and let's be honest, that's a pretty high bar, it's gold. Lots and lots of gold. Nero built his infamous Golden House, a palace so opulent it made Versailles look like a garden shed. Trump, not to be outdone by someone who's been dead for 2 millennia, slapped his name on towers and casinos, turning them into shrines to tackiness that would make Liberace blush. While Nero had to settle for putting his face on coins and erecting statues, Trump had the modern miracle of Twitter. Imagine if Nero could have tweeted, "Just executed another traitor, sad," or "Rumors of Rome burning are fake news, I'm the best firefighter, believe me." It's almost enough to make you grateful that ancient emperors didn't have access to social media. Now, we've all heard the phrase, "Nero fiddled while Rome burned." It's a catchy little saying that encapsulates Nero's alleged indifference during a catastrophic fire that devastated Rome. But here's the kicker. Nero probably didn't even own a fiddle. The fiddle wasn't invented until centuries later. It's like accusing Abraham Lincoln of being distracted by his iPhone. While Nero was accused of singing and playing the lyre during Rome's crisis, Trump, well, where do we even start? From downplaying a global pandemic to tweeting about TV ratings during national emergencies. Trump elevated crisis mismanagement to an art form. It's as if he took fiddling while Rome burns as a challenge and thought, hold my Diet Coke. If ego were a renewable resource, both Nero and Trump could single-handedly solve the world's energy crisis. Nero, not content with mere mortal adulation, declared himself a living god. He had statues of himself erected all over Rome, each one more grandiose than the last. It's like he was playing a game of how far can I push this with the Roman people. Trump, living in a time where declaring oneself a god is slightly less socially acceptable, had to settle for basically the same thing, but with rallies and red hats. Both men cultivated a cult of personality so intense it makes boy bands look like they have casual fans. The devotion of their followers is less political support and more religious fervor with a side of merchandising. Family. The backbone of society, the source of love and support, and in the cases of Nero and Trump, a bottomless well of scandal and nepotism. Nero, bless his twisted heart, married his stepsister, killed his mother, and then married a boy whom he had castrated. It's like he was trying to speedrun the most dysfunctional family achievement. Trump, living in slightly more constrained times, had to make do with merely appointing his children and son-in-law to high-ranking positions they were comically unqualified for. And let's not forget the revolving door of marriages and affairs that kept tabloids in business for decades. It's almost as if both men viewed family as just another tool for their personal gain and entertainment. If there's one skill both Nero and Trump mastered, it's the art of getting rid of people who disagree with them. Nero took the direct approach. If you crossed him, you might find yourself invited to open your veins in a warm bath. Nothing says, "I value your opinion," quite like forced suicide, am I right? He turned purging his enemies into a gruesome hobby, like a murderous version of stamp collecting. Trump, constrained by those pesky modern laws against murder, had to settle for firing people, but oh boy, did he fire people. He went through staff faster than Nero went through wives. From "you're fired" on The Apprentice to speedrunning through White House staff, Trump turned job insecurity into a spectator sport. It's almost impressive how he managed to create a work environment more unstable than a Jenga tower in an earthquake. Here's where things get really weird. Nero, not content with being emperor, fancied himself an artist. He would force audiences to listen to his poetry and watch him perform on stage. And when I say force, I mean guards would lock the doors so no one could leave. It was like an ancient Roman version of a timeshare presentation, but with more lyre solos. Trump, in a twist that would make even the most imaginative Roman satirist's head spin, actually was a reality TV star before becoming president. The Apprentice was less about business acumen and more about creating drama. In a way, both men treated their leadership roles as if they were starring in the most high-stakes reality show ever produced. The only difference is that Nero couldn't be voted off. If paranoia were an Olympic sport, both Nero and Trump would be gold medalists. Nero was constantly on the lookout for plots against him, seeing conspiracies in every shadow. To be fair, in ancient Rome, if you weren't at least a little paranoid, you probably weren't paying attention. But Nero took it to an art form, turning suspicion into a lifestyle. Trump, never one to be outdone, brought us such greatest hits as Obama's birth certificate, rigged elections, and everyone's favorite ongoing series, The Deep State. It's as if both men were competing in some bizarre conspiracy theory bingo, where the prize is the gradual erosion of public trust and institutional stability. Fun for the whole family. All good things must come to an end, and by good things I mean reigns of chaos that somehow managed to last way longer than anyone thought possible. Nero's end came when he finally pushed Rome too far, leading to a revolt that ended with him committing suicide. His last words were reportedly, "What an artist dies in me," because of course they were. Trump's post-presidency life, while less dramatically final, has been a whirlwind of legal troubles, social media bans, and attempts to remain relevant. It's like watching a reality show where the main character refuses to believe the season is over. The only question remaining is, will history remember Trump the way it remembers Nero as a cautionary tale of ego run amok? Or will he too be reduced to a punchline about hairstyles and golden toilets? So, there you have it, folks. Two men separated by 2,000 years, yet united in their love of gold, glory, and giving historians migraines. Is history doomed to repeat itself with a little extra bling? Or are we just stuck in a reality show with no season finale? One thing's for sure, whether it's ancient Rome or modern America, we never seem to run out of material for political satire. Now, if you'll excuse me, I need to go check if I'm on any emperor's hit lists. Good night and good luck, and don't forget to like this video and subscribe.